Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game of FaiLo versus Fish. This game taking place here on Autumn Leaves 2.0. On the top right hand side of the map we have FaiLo spawning as the green orc, opening up with an Ultra of Storms, a burrow, and a barracks. Meanwhile, on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have Ice opening up with a barracks, a farm, and a delayed Ultra of Kings, indicating that it will be a Tavern hero first, with a Scout Tower, Arcane Tower being built to be very, very defensive. Alright, already curious as to what type of heroes we will be looking at coming across from the human player, but for now, let's focus on the Farseer as it makes its way out in order to do a bit of creeping. Actually, no creeping in the books. It looks as though he instead is going to try and put pressure and disrupt Ice or Fish's, Fish's, the human player's creeping pattern, and we don't even see a unit close to the tavern yet. What is going on here? Arcane Tower is nearly done. No unit is close to the tavern. It's past the 2-minute 15-second mark, so nothing's really been trained, as the Farseer of FaiLo is looking to figure out how can I disrupt creeping, and instead is, well, disrupting himself. This is a bit of a strange scenario where FaiLo was investing in time to try and stop Fish when Fish hasn't even done anything yet. So FaiLo, Fish in essence wasted FaiLo's time by not doing anything. A little bit of a strange opening there, as well, when you try to play against your opponent more and more, things just don't always happen to work out, as the footman purposely backs away, purposely trying to hide the fact that he is going for a tavern hero, as the footman now run inside with Defend first and a Naga Sea Witch. Alright, Naga Sea Witch defend first, going in with Orc, going in to try and disrupt all of this here. The footman with defend can, well, perhaps try and take down some of these peons, as the footmen are going to be holding position here. The grunt is actually trying to engage back, while the Naga Sea Witch is going to go ahead and try and do a fast expansion. Alright. Strange order overall. Footman trying to do a little bit of damage here, well, trying to now back away. Is that Footman going to get taken down? Footman looks like he's going to try and go after the Grunt. Grunt is already down to 107 hit points, as the peons are no longer firing back, and now the footmen are going to be retreating back out. Alright, Naga Sea Witch continuing to put pressure on that Kobold Geomancer here. We see an Arcane Vault between the two buildings, or the two bases, as we should be looking at an Arcane Tower followed up with a Town Hall. Alright, one of the strangest openings I've seen coming in from Ice. This is not your typical game, and, well, something new for us to ponder. Are we looking at a new style of meta, as, well, new ways to play the game? I don't believe this would have worked like 7 years ago, as players weren't so concerned about trying to disrupt their opponent as much as they are now. And now that you can, like, stop trying to disrupt your opponent, or trying to stop playing that particular way, I don't understand why this footman didn't have defend to actually reflect back some of that damage, as the footmen are now making their way back off to the north here. Alright, we are looking at a Altar of Storms, Bestiary getting added in. FaiLo trying to make sure that he's able to, push these footmen back away. The Spirit Wolves and Grunts are going to be joining in on the battle, and here come in those earlier footmen by Fish. Alright, Fish is just running some sort of scramble play right now, and I guess he's not getting countered, but he's not really making that much progress either. At this point and stage, we can see that Fish has not teched to tier 2, and even if he has not teched to tier 2, he needs to start teching to tier 2 quickly. If FaiLo scouts out this Town Hall, not even teching the tier 2, regardless of the progress, he's going to know that an expo has been set up. Arcane Vault across over here. Naga Sea Witch gonna buy a Scroll of Regeneration. All these footmen are gonna heal up as well, as the Farseer will get to level 3, and the Tauren Chieftain will be extremely close to level 2. Does a defend kill count as a deny? I don't know actually. So if you are, I would assume that the defend kill counts as damage being done by the footman since it's reflected back that way. But I think that would be a great question to ask and check. Like, make sure a footman is about, or an archer is about to die, and then it tries to attack a footman and see if and have them hold position, see if that actually works out there. All right, claws of attack +4. There you are. A couple of units are gonna get finished off here. Naga Sea Witch is sitting at level 3, still has Scroll of Regeneration, Boots of Speed now on that Naga Sea Witch, and use the Clarity Potion even though it's already at maximum mana. Not quite sure what that is about there. Also picking up a Forest Troll Shadow Priest as they are out on the move. Healing Ward placed down. Quickly gonna get finished up. Boots of Quell the Lost. And here we are going into an engagement. There's a quick Fork Lightning. There's a Stomp. And Footman with the Fend. Healing Ward now down. Naga Sea Witch needs to turn back around. Stop that Healing Ward. I believe he's done that there. Or perhaps with the Illusion. The Illusion that can't actually do damage. It can only stop healing salves, not healing wards. Footman with the Fend and trying to hold things back here. There's another Fork Lightning there as the Tauren Chieftain is down to 70 or 256 hit points, trying to back away. Scroll of Speed used by the however, the one grunt still getting taken out here. Scroll of Regeneration used. Naga Sea Witch slowly regenerating some mana as well passively as the Goblin Zeppelin now picked up. On the bottom left-hand side, we can see Fish has teched to tier 2. It is teching the tier 2 and is nearly there. Meanwhile, Footmen are just being continually led to the Orc Burrow grinding house as a couple of Shaman are being trained up too. Shaman not going to be nearly as effective as there is no water elementals to purge, no summons to take down, and the Goblin Zeppelin play, which I thought was perhaps going to be some sort of drop play, just being used to move around the map much more quickly. I don't believe the Naga Sea Witch. Are they still healing? No, they are not. Naga Sea Witch quickly uses the Potion of Invisibility, and now moving forward with the Potion of Minor Potion of Invulnerability too. All right, FaiLo playing much more of a classic style here and using that healing ward to mitigate some of the damage being dealt by this high-level creep camp. Meanwhile, Naga Sea Witch has found her way inside the base here. Gonna try and take down a couple of these peons. And Footman now dropping in, and with the Fend, they're gonna be able to reflect back. And now this is gonna be a large enough army to deal significant damage to these Orc Burrows, perhaps, resetting FaiLo. Meanwhile, we do not see fortified armor anywhere here. Forest Troll Shadow Priest has taken quite a bit of damage. We're going to see a Fork Lightning across those peons. Yes, we are peons. And now the Footmen are still reflecting back some of that damage. All right, Raiders are now trying to make their way through. Going now after a grunt. Peons are going to be rotating back to the other side here. There's a Scroll of Healing used there. Fork of Lightning. Down goes one of those Raiders as the Kodo Beast is chomping down on a Forest Troll Shadow Priest. So far, more damage here. Raiders trying to prevent the escape here. There goes a Chain Lightning, finishing off a couple more. Naga Sea Witch using a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. It should be able to take down that Raider and then perhaps use that Scroll of Town Portal to head back home. Goblin Zeppelin a bit on fire in the back of the base here. Naga Sea Witch retreats back home. Now is getting up armor upgrades, the leather armor upgrades, and transitioning into air. All right, so off the beaten path strategy, going to be going for air, perhaps for Griffins, and this is a perfect play unless the reinforced defenses is purchased. Suddenly, those Griffins are not going to be able to do as much damage as they're dealing with fortified armor instead of heavy armor. Naga Sea Witch is in a bit of trouble. It does have invisibility. There's a Stomp right there, perhaps waiting for the Dust of Appearance now to be purchased, as the Tauren Chieftain is just right there. Oh, Lightning Shield. Interesting choice, as the Naga Sea Witch was able to slip back through. There's a Tome of Retraining, and now now is going to effectively use a Shockwave to try and put pressure onto all of these buildings. More towers being added up here, and it looks like FaiLo knows of this strategy and says, you know what, I know exactly what to do here. I'm going to line up, try and take down these buildings as they are being built, and with Kagar's Pipe of Insight and that Potion of Mana, should be able to launch a couple of decent Shockwaves. Alright, Shockwave could be coming across. There goes a couple of additional dead peasants as a Grunt going to get taken down here. Naga Seawitch sitting at 4. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability still being used. Tauren Chieftain still has plenty of mana and going to throw another Shockwave as well, taking down more peasants. Tauren Chieftain nearly at level 4 now, may be able to find a way to do it as we see a Scroll of Town Portal for the Naga Seawitch to get back in. Tauren Chieftain could line up, take down perhaps more of those peasants again, but was one peasant shy of getting to level 4, and we know which peasant that was. Natural regeneration for the save there as a couple of these buildings all cleaned up. Farseer had enough mana for a Chain Lightning to bounce around. Could have sent in a Grunt first and then allowed that Chain Lightning to perhaps kill 1 or 2 more units. Now, a Lumber Mill being added to try and complete this door here. Griffin Aviary. I thought there was already 2 Griffin Aviaries. For some reason, this Griffin Aviary is still not yet done, as we're looking at a Purge onto that Dire Wolf, and now that there's a Purge onto the Dire Wolf, he has really nowhere to go, and now slowly being digested. Shaman now trying to back away here. 1 Forest Troll Berserker, the only real piercing damage, as we see a quick ensnare go down for that Griffin Rider. That Griffin Rider suddenly, appearing right in front of the Tauren Chieftain and all of these other units. That is going to be a big loss here, as FaiLo is, doing a great job just trying to slowly push through on these bases. Fish still up on 2 bases, but his army is comparable in size to FaiLo, and, is currently down by 1 level 4 hero. We don't see any additional units being trained here. A couple of, an Arcane Vault being spotted out in midfield. That can get taken down easily as well. Alright, sorry. There was a comment. I didn't read it in time. My apologies. 42 supply compared to 44. Heading over here to the top right-hand side of the map. We're looking at, these shadow or these wolves trying to find a way to perhaps put in pressure a couple of Griffin Riders. No animal war training yet, Ice with a lot of gold, but not quite sure how he wants to spend it. Meanwhile, middle of the battlefield, there goes an ensnare. Naga Seawitch gets a fork lightning across a couple of units. Are we going to see a stomp or no stomp possible, as another Scroll of Town Portal now being used. Fish continuing to play this strange slightly off strategy, and FaiLo, if he can get to level 5 on that Tauren Chieftain, and perhaps even more importantly level 6 on that Farseer, the building fortifications are just not going to be enough. Earthquake, Shockwave easily takes out all of these buildings, and if you're trying to do a base trade, Earthquake, Shockwave versus Griffins against fortified armor, you don't have to be a genius to figure out who generally wins out on that fight. We are 15 minutes into this game though, and these Griffins, if they do go unchallenged, can cause quite a bit of problems. We see 1 Bestiary, but I don't believe a single Troll Bat Rider has been trained yet. Meanwhile, the Kodo Beast still slowly digesting that 825 hit point Knight over time, and that could that give the Farseer? No, not going to give the Farseer level 5, at least not quite yet. He should be taking this time to try and clear out some of these creep camps, but there's also a danger as well, as the Knight is acting as a beacon to let his opponent know where exactly he is. 21 workers against 11. That is that additional base that we talked about. Tauren Chieftain lined up a Shockwave, only to see much of his mana simply drained away. Chain lightning bouncing around, able to hit some of those peasants who were further back, and now trying to come across inside here. Chain lightning could go for one more round. There it goes. Chain lightning finding its way through, taking down a couple more peasants as the arcane tower now taken down. Farseer in the far back here could go for one more chain lightning again. The Torrent Chief, and there's a lightning shield. 12 town portal now inbound as well. We see all of the units finally retreating back. Back off to the north, repairs on the watchtower, able to keep it going. And both sides using a lot of stationary defense at home to try and protect their investments. Farseer, well, now very close to level 5. Kodo Beast has finished digesting, as mentioned earlier. Meanwhile, these wing orange creep camps could give the Farseer that precious level 5, perhaps adding in a level 3 chain lightning to bounce around and act as a way to deal damage to those griffins. Also, an orb of lightning for the Tauren Chieftain would be extremely helpful, as well as it gives the opportunity to deal damage to those air units. But FaiLo not picking up an orb of lightning at all, and well, once again working and wandering out. Tauren Chieftain does deal decent damage. Farseer still also dealing decent damage, as well as the Kodo Beast just trying to keep up. Now, Ice, where is all of his gold going? He's been training a lot of peasants. He's had an additional base for a long period of time. There goes an ensnare, there goes your spirit wolf, and now here comes the engagement. Now Fork Lightning dialing back to the shockwave, trying to go down after that Naga Sea Witch. Naga Sea Witch does have a staff of sanctuary, Scroll of Healing, both sides taking away their parts as the raiders want to throw down a couple of ensnares. Berserkers have been trained up. Fork Lightning finishing off some of those berserkers there, as the Kodo Beast going to get taken down as well. 52 supply compared to 40. Fish doing a great job with these griffins, and because this Tauren Chieftain can't attack air, well, there's just not much that can be done. All right, another griffin going to get taken down, another ensnare. Tauren Chieftain going to try and go after this griffin rider here. It looks like it will get taken down, and there is, well, there is that tornado. Tornado completely shutting down all the anti-air units, as all the Tauren Chieftain can do is now perhaps try and keep things alive here. Farseer going after this Griffin Rider. The Tornado's Cyclone picking up that Berserker still after all this time. 44 supply compared to 34. Army sizes once again about the same. Naga Sea Witch getting up. Tornado acts as a big, well, building a way to deal damage to buildings, as we are about 5 minutes left on a mining on the main base. Should have trained Gyrocopter to hit tornado units. Tornado units are invulnerable, so it does not matter. Yeah, you cannot hit a unit in a tornado. They are invulnerable, and well, even though they are technically in the air, yeah, doesn't work that way. Potion of Healing, perhaps going to get picked up here. Otherwise, you could like tornado units and then shackle them. That would be more in line with the strategy, and that would actually be much more scary. To what, pick up to tornado a knight and then shackle the knight so that it has nowhere to go and stays in the air and just is slowly drained until the Griffin Rider's out of mana. Siege engines now on the move here to try and perhaps bulldoze some of these buildings. Tiny Great Hall used by FaiLo to set up this expo, as the Griffin Riders, well, this is an interesting play. Force your opponent to go for a lot of piercing damage to deal with the Griffin Riders, and then come in with units that have fortified armor. Meanwhile, this watchtower is about to get burst down here. One now getting taken down. Naga Sea Witch is in the back, gets a Fork Lightning across a couple of peons. That's going to take them down here as the units are looking to engage. Meanwhile, Watchtower is trying to repair once more, as this one is Siege Engine about to fall. Naga Sea Witch has, well, taken down a couple of these units again, and is now going to, well, tornado these buildings. So by tornadoing these buildings, it is going to deal significant damage. That tornado can actually be moved I'm not quite sure why the Naga Sea Witch isn't there. Finally moving that tornado in order to deal more damage to these buildings, and now can go after those other watchtowers as well. Meanwhile, the Griffin Riders are trying to protect the Naga Sea Witch as we see a quick ensnare go down onto the Naga Sea Witch to stop that channeled ability. Griffin Rider still hiding up top once more. Tauren Chieftain sitting at 5, Farseer sitting at 5.5. As this base here repairs at the watchtower, but it may not be enough to stop as we see one now taken down. Alright, a little bit more damage coming back across here, a little bit of damage being done, but the Tauren Chieftain is nearby enough. The siege engine will get taken down, and experience is given. 46 supply compared to 38. Farseer, Tauren Chieftain on the move. Down to the south side here, we are still about 7 or 6.5 minutes of mining left as the main bases are starting to, or main base of ice has already, or fish has already mined out. Alright, Naga Sea Witch unable to push across through the back here. One of the changes that they made in Autumn Leaves 2.0, put a little lake there so that units cannot come back across. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at Griffin trying to dive in here. We can see a Fork Lightning. There goes a couple of peons. Level 7 now on the Naga Sea Witch. And this base is, well, not going to be long for this world. Alright, a Staff of Sanctuary comes in with the save. Berserker with Frenzy trying to poke down here. Not going to work out well. There's a bit of slow as the Fork Lightning finishes off the remaining peons once more. Tauren Chieftain without an Orb of Lightning, a very big setback overall, as the Naga Sea Witch still coming back around the corners again to perhaps try and poke things apart. More peons getting trained up. Goblin Shredder, well, that's a primary target for the Naga Sea Witch to try and take down if he ever can get with those griffins within range. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5, Farseer sitting at level 5. Engagement, Fork Lightning coming back across, quick damage, Chain Lightning trying to bounce around. Tauren Chieftain should be able to, well, should have gotten that here as we're now looking at the Naga Sea Witch forcing to use a scroll of, potion of invulnerability. There's some more Fork Lightning as another Griffin Rider gets Staff of Sanctuary back home right before death. Alright, looks as though Naga Sea Witch was down to 16 hit points. That could have been, well, much worse, as that Shockwave could have finished the job right there just a bit too early. And as he saw the Shockwave, I believe Fish quickly said, I need to use this Scroll of Town Portal, and was able to get away with those 16 hit points. 48 supply compared to 35. But the Farseer and Farseer is getting closer to level 6. And if he does opt for sudden level 3 Chain Lightning as well, well, we can bet that these Griffin Riders are just going to take significant more damage, as there's not that many units for that Chain Lightning to bounce around. Militia now joining in on the battle here to try and clear out this gold mine at the center portion of the map, as this gold mine only has 4 minutes of mining left. 49 supply over 66. Meanwhile, there's plenty of watchtowers here. It looks like only a tornado cast is going to be enough to really take things down. Well, there are siege engines here as well. Those griffin or those wolves should end up getting cleaned up by those griffins if necessary. And here we are, here we go, and here's that tornado in position. You can see how much damage is being done on all of these buildings, and this Great Hall is going to get lost in a second here. Scroll of Town Portal, however, forced to be used by Fish, but the building is still lost here as the Scroll of Town Portal takes everyone back home. Suddenly, FaiLo is in trouble. His main source of gold income now completely lost as a tornado just blew away the building. Coming back down to the south side here, well, no mining happening here as the Arcane Towers and the Shadow Wolves attempt to take down these buildings. It looks as though the Guard Tower is going to end up, well, getting the final shot off there. No more experience for that Naga Sea Witch. Meanwhile, the Farseer still sitting at level 6, gonna come across a siege engine. There's a quick ensnare. That's gonna be the death of a siege engine, and that will give level 6 to this Farseer, which will be a big deal. Still surprised that this Tauren Chieftain, after all this time, hasn't picked up an Orb of Lightning. All right, Tiny Great Hall quickly reestablishes this base here. No problem whatsoever. Griffin's going to get trained back up here. Naga Sea Witch down to 400 hit points. And, well, these buildings are getting repaired once more. All right, Siege Engine rolling out. Are we going to see an ensnare? Yes, we are. And that Tauren Chieftain not going to get to level 6 here, but still going to get that much closer. A couple of easy buildings. Farseer perhaps going to return the favor and say, yeah, I too have an ability that can deal a lot of damage to buildings. What are you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. All of those towers taken down in an instant with a couple more, with another shockwave perhaps to follow things up. All right, Forked Lightning. Well, there's a healing salve right there. Farseer going to be forced to retreat back. Griffin's going to engage Shockwave. Now throwing down Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back away here as the Raider gets lost right before the Scroll of Town Portal takes everyone back home. All right, Tauren Chieftain, well, does not have enough to pick up an Orb of Lightning yet. Really, come on, 39 to 49 and 39 to 49 with a fast attack speed. That would work wonders to take down some of those Griffins as well. 2-2 upgrades compared to 1-0. Things not looking, well, things can still go either way. It really comes down to execution at this point in stage, as there's only 2 minutes of mining left at the expo. Once that is gone, well, it is going to be significantly tougher for ICE to maintain this army. As we see, I'm not quite sure what that was. Was that a Goblin Sapper? That could have been a Goblin Sapper to try and dive on in here. Meanwhile, the guard towers, well, bloodlusted Shadow Wolf's going to take down one guard tower here, and then FaiLo, is he going to take down this guard tower as well? He may be able to do that. Meanwhile, trying to get an engagement out in midfield. There was a little bit of damage there, but the Forked Lightning only hitting one target as this Raider now looks to retreat all the way back. Kodo Beast also trying to retreat back here, does have Bloodlust, so the units having Bloodlust does give a faster attack speed overall, as the Knights are going to try and perhaps force a fight here. Peons are off over here. Are we going to look into an engagement? Tauren Chieftain is right there. A couple of Raiders. Forked Lightning, Shockwave now ripping on through. There's that Chain Lightning as well, as the Tauren Chieftain gets taken down before, well, getting to level 6, so no quick resurrection there. And now we can see the Kodo Beast was trying to chomp on a Knight, only to see it get focused down by those Griffin Riders as well. This Tornado has done significant damage and is now moving across the battlefield. That's a pretty far channel, as the Griffin Riders are now going after the Voodoo Lounge and some of these other buildings. There's that Goblin Shredder that I mentioned moments ago. One more shot, one more volley will finish it off there, and suddenly all of that work is done. All right, Fish down to 47 supply. FaiLo down to 33, resurrecting that Tauren Chieftain that old-fashioned way, as the gold mine now only has a minute of mining left. All right, what is in store? 37 supply army compared to a 27 supply army. 5 of that supply getting resurrected in that Altar of Storms. Peons trying to repair the buildings here. Meanwhile, the Shadow Wolves trying to take down a Knight who is getting healed up by this, by that Staff of Sanctuary, but it's not going to be enough. There's a Griffin Rider sent all the way back home again, as the Tauren Chieftain may not be able to make its way out. Are we going to see a Chain Lightning perhaps go down? There's a Scroll of Protection there, and no Chain Lightning, since the Chain Lightning is only the level 2 variety. And now it makes me wonder, was Earthquake really the best call, or would Chain Lightning have been better even overall there? It is demoralizing to lose a handful of buildings, but it is game-changing to lose 2 or 3 Griffins at this point and stage in the game. All right. More units, more militia now getting called out here. We can see, well, Forked Lightning finishing off all of those peons once more. Griffin Riders purposely trying to back away. Are we going to be looking at repairs as the, well, Farseer makes its way back over? Resurrected Tauren Chieftain at the battlefield. There's level 6. All right, so the Tauren Chieftain gets up to level 6 because he had a potion of mana and was able to use that potion of mana fairly effectively, and now we can see him perhaps trying to go after this knight off over here. Are we going to see the death of the Tauren Chieftain? Yes, we do. There is that resurrection, and suddenly with the Tauren Chieftain getting resurrected back in play, we can see a very drastic different game. There's a shockwave breaking on through. Naga Sea Witch ends up using a potion of invulnerability in time, but Fish ends up throwing in the towel. No more mining off over here. Tauren Chieftain got knocked down but got back up again, and even trying to go after the Tauren Chieftain at this point in stage in the game would mean, with so many berserkers who are bloodlusted, those these Griffin Riders would just get popped. So a great game going back and forth, a bit premature, but remember, Naga Sea Witch also low on mana now, unable to use those Fork Lightnings to finish off any of these berserkers here. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are the final scores. Lower score overall for FaiLo over Fish, as the hero level wasn't as high. I believe a level 8 or level 9 for Fish, but dual level 6 heroes for Orc able to get the job done. Still no Orb of Lightning and a questionable Earthquake over level 3 Chain Lightning, but at the same time, taking down those towers did give enough experience to the Tauren Chieftain to get to level 6. Would a level 3 Chain Lightning also have done the same thing? Difficult to know, difficult to say.